We're going to talk about The Road by Cormac McCarthy, same author as No Country for Old Men. The Road is a post-apocalyptic journey of a father and his son.
They walk along a road.
They do.
From what I remember, and they have some encounters with people along the road that kind of symbolize stuff.
Like themes and such.
Yeah, themes and such.
Themes, yeah. And then, like, don't they try to go south to escape the cold winter that's coming?
Yes, that is the main goal of the book, to reach the south so that they aren't cold. General opinion of the book? Do we like it? Do we not like it?
I loved it. Yeah, I read the whole book, even though I'm not in lit. I was just really curious what it was about, so I read it, and it was great. I liked the writing style. It's like very short sentences.
No quotations.
No quotations really stands out.
Yeah, no quotations, and it doesn't tell you who's talking. You have to figure out yourself, like, what's happening. It allows you to interpret the book a lot more, so I like that part of it.
Yeah, I think it's, like, deliberately ambiguous. Would we recommend the book?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really good book, so I would definitely recommend it. I think, like, the whole story of it and, like, I feel like the story kind of, like, references, like, current day things as it goes along. And I think the story itself is very good too. Mostly because of the quotation marks, like we said, but like there's other reasons. I think it's you decide your own way of telling the story, especially the ending of it, like how you think. I can't really spoil the book, can I? Nah, I'm not going to do that in case they want to read it. But like, just like how it plays out, I think is like very much up to your own interpretation. So like, I really enjoyed that. I would definitely recommend it.
I think I would definitely recommend it. It's an interesting book. I think the ambiguity of everything, just like the lack of quotation marks, the simple sentence structure and like dialogue, it's very open to interpretation, and what you think of it is like what you think of it. There's no really like objective, because there's no way to tell unless you spoke directly to the author of like what exactly his intent was with the story. But I like that about it.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things of the book was that the boy and the man never have a name. I feel like that is important because names can be very tightly associated with certain groups of people, like with race and culture. So by calling the man and the boy just the man and the boy, it makes their character and their emotions just like so universal compared to if they actually had like a proper name. And that's basically like the key thing about The Road, is that it just was able to make human emotion so kind of like universal.
Like intimate?
Yeah, like non-specific and like just really like in your face in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of like, I don't mean to sidetrack from what you were just saying, but like I really zoned in on like the no names part because that reminds me of a book I'm currently reading called The Horizon. It's essentially a story of a boy and a girl in pretty much the same situation, and like the people they meet, how they travel along a road, but like I feel like the name thing is more stressed in The Horizon because it's also like it's a manga, so like you can see the people, and it's also like I don't know, just the fact that you can actually see it, I feel like draws more of a emotion out of it, especially with like the fact that like there's literally no names throughout the entire story. So
and that's like, it's a good device because it just makes the emotions of the characters so much more like interpretable, and it takes away any prejudices that you have already like established in how you judge people, even if you don't intend to. That's what it does, and it just makes the book a lot more universal.
Yeah, I think the no names, it kind of sets the tone of the story. Usually in a story, you're introduced to the characters like with their names like immediately. Like this is the apocalypse. Like there's nobody for them to really like introduce themselves to. It's like they are the only ones. Like there's nobody to remember them after they're gone. So like what is the point of introducing them? Like I think it definitely adds to the tone. It's like the absurdity of like living in the apocalypse, or like in The Horizon, the absurdity of like living in like a war zone as children. Kind of something a little different called Girls Last Tour, about these two girls who are in a post-apocalyptic world. It's like almost the complete opposite of The Road. They just like they find joy in like the simplest thing, like catching a fish, or like driving a tank, like just like by themselves, and they're the only one, but they have each other's names and they use them all the time because they are there to remember each other. I feel like in the road, it's like
They don't use names because there's nothing to remember.
yeah,
Or
like
there's no reason to remember.
there's so little hope present in the story that I feel that like names would
It would give too much individuality to the characters.
and like create like a false sense of hope that they would like be disillusioned by.
Yeah.
And it's like in Girls Last Tour,
yeah, that's an interesting
they're
thought.
content with their situation. They know exactly where they are. They know that they're the only two, and they're okay with that. And I think that's why the author of Girls Last Tour chose to include names rather than not in like as in the horizon of the road.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
I mean, the whole name thing, that's kind of like, it relates to one of the characters, Eli, in The Road. I feel like that's the only guy who you get to know their name.
Yeah, it is.
But even then, like, that's not his real name.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Like-
yeah, he made that up.
The entire interaction in the story with Eli is just, at least from when I was first reading it, I was kind of like, what in the world's going on? This guy doesn't know his right from his left. He always tells a lie in some format of it. So like that just kind of like goes to show the absurdity of the situation they're in. Like it's
like there's no way to like he can't decide what he's gonna say because like there's no way to know what is or isn't right in a world where there's no people. So he just says like anything because there's no like guidelines to a world without people.
Yeah.
Anything at all.
Yeah, there's no rules. I would say 10. I thought it was a really good book.
Like enjoyment or like
I feel like the way that I judge books is do they bring new ideas to me? And I would say this book brought a lot of new ideas presented in a really like skilled way. So 10 out of 10. It makes you feel things.
I would agree that it brought a lot of ideas, not necessarily new for me, because I engage with a lot of like post-apocalyptic work, like media. It's just like a genre I'm a fan of. So it's like not like new ideas, but I liked the way they were presented in here compared to other media. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Doesn't beat Girls Last Tour.
Yeah, no, I would say it's a 9 out of 10. Like I'm probably not as big into like post-apocalyptic as you guys are, but like I'm a fan of like the way that they went about it and all the different themes that they showed in the different like literature ways that they wrote the book, I guess. You know, like the only other like big post-apocalyptic show or movie that I like really liked was Zombieland, which also has ties back to this. In a way, but I don't think it peaks that because I'm a big comedy guy. But yeah, I would say it's a 9 out of 10.
So for a book recommendation, I recommend Hatchet. It's a story of a boy who gets stranded in the Canadian wilderness and then has to use his hatchet and his survival skills to survive by himself for, I think, like 40 days or 60 days till he gets rescued. And it's a real story, and it's quite inspiring because this guy was really creative and motivated and survived by himself. And for a movie, TV show recommendation, I recommend Breaking Bad, because the characters in that show are just such great kind of like archetypes of how people interact with power and society. Not in a good way, like in a very, very bad way, but it's done very skillfully, and it's an enjoyable show to watch and think about the characters and their like motivations and what causes them to do what they do.
I think my first recommendation would definitely be Girls Last Tour. It's a manga about these two girls who are adopted family, and they live in this world. There's like one like city that's like a mega city, and it has like these gigantic like levels. They begin on the lowest level, and it's post-apocalyptic. They're the last two. It's just them and their little tank, and their goal is to just reach the top of the city before they die, because they're the only two that they know of that are alive. And it's a really intimate, and I found a lot of similarities between that and The Road. Not better than, or The Road isn't better than it though. And for my second recommendation, it's an anime called Kino's Journey, and it's about this girl and her talking motorcycle. And I imagine this world was once overrun by many wars, as there are many nations, like tiny nations that are all like super distinct from each other. They all have like a very strong sense of like nationalism and do not like associate with each other. And it's just this journey of this girl and her talking motorcycle interacting with all sorts of people from all sorts of nations and experiencing the culture of all of these places. And
Sounds cool.
Yeah, that sounds
What
cool.
does the motorcycle say?
the
Like,
motorcycle,
vroom vroom?
his name is Hermes.
Oh, that's a sick name for a
He
motorcycle.
just like
Perfect.
he just like complains about Kino.
Yeah.
It's a really good show. It's one of my favorites.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. For my recommendations, I would definitely say Zombieland for the first one. Just because there's so many like connecting features. I mean, the big one being it's post-apocalyptic, but like there's one character in there where he creates a name and he acts like, well, he doesn't create the name. The name is already there, but he resides the name in a dog form just to help cope with something. And the same thing happens on the road. And like that's a big theme throughout both the movie and the book. So I don't know. I really like Zombieland, and I feel like those two really relate to each other. The next recommendation I have is Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It's honestly my favorite anime. I think it relates to the road purely because of the societal like norms and what it takes to get your name remembered. Like no one's name is remembered in Night City. In order for you to become like memorable, you have to die in the most fashionable way possible. And it's just the story about this kid and how he makes some not so great decisions, and it's about like, does his name get remembered or does he live? So yeah, I really like that one.
I've got 2 questions about Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Oh boy.
What edge are they running on?
The edge of societal norms.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And then what is the most fashionable way to die? What, like, how do you get points for that?
Oof.
as big and loud as possible.
Yeah,
as much attention as possible.
Like there's
So like if you live stream it, is that like,
not really.
it has to be like
Like there's low key. There's levels to TS. I can't even lie.
No spoilers.
no
No spoilers.
Okay.
Okay, no spoilers.
Okay.
So, wait, can I give spoilers to the game?
I guess.
Okay, so in the game, you also get remembered because you die, but you do it by taking out like the world's strongest like cyber person.
Oh, cool.
So like the world's strongest cyber person, his name is Adam Smasher.
That's such a silly name.
It's bad. Don't get me wrong, it's bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's also in the show. He's cooler in the show. I'm not gonna lie. But like you kill him in the game, and then like essentially you can either like get blown up or you get sent off into space and die in space.
Space death.
So yeah, like your name gets remembered through one of those 2 ways. Those are just the 2 that I know of. I'm sure there's others.
I like the sound of space death. That's pretty cool.